Make sure you stick around for the growth update at the end of the video.
All right, hello everyone and welcome. My name is John and today I'm here with my Ficus Triangularis variegata and I'm going to cut it back somewhat aggressively, not super hard, but I do want to take all these branches in to some of their lower leaves so that I can encourage as much branching as possible. This thing is not as dense as it used to be. It's gone through several large moves in the last couple of years, and for the last 2 years it has focused on growing fruit just like all year long. It'll grow like 50 to 100 little berries and they'll fall off, and then a few months later it'll do it again and again. So it's been spending all of its energy on fruit, and I really want to get it to be nice and bushy again. So basically all I've got to do is cut the tips off of all of these branches, and that's going to encourage a process called back budding. So normally the plant is sending energy out towards the furthest point on each branch, and when that point gets removed from pruning, it's going to activate all of those growth points lower down, or at least it'll activate some of them. Depends on how much energy the plant currently has. So one thing I need to avoid, if possible, with ficuses is something called dieback. So let's say I took this long branch here. If I cut all the way back below this lowest leaf, it's possible to get a lot of buds activated on that lower part of that branch, but it's also very possible that the plant will just be like, all right then, see ya, and it will just stop supporting that branch entirely. So sometimes if you prune a ficus too hard, that branch will just die off. So I want to make sure I'm leaving some foliage on all of these branches so I know that the plant will continue to send that all-important life force out there for growing more leaves. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this branch here, and I want to show you something here because this is called directional pruning. Depending on where I cut this branch, the next growth point will follow whatever is that lowest one. So if I cut it here, the next branch will shoot out along this one. It'll grow in this little axle here, this notch. And I don't want it to grow out and down, I want it to grow up. So I'm going to remove all of this, leaving this one here, and then this node right at this corner is going to start to send more branches up this way. So here we go. Ta-da! All right, so this one here, the lowest leaves are way far away. I'm gonna risk it. I can see some nodes down here. I'm gonna cut this all the way back. Now, hopefully it starts growing here, but it might suffer from dieback, which you can see, I think happened with this guy, which I cut and nothing happened. So that's okay. So if nothing happens there, I'll just remove it later on. All right, now moving on up. Okay, so here's another example of directional pruning. I like this thing here, but if I cut here, it's gonna start to grow more things down and out along this, which I don't want. I want it to grow up and closer into the trunk. So I'm actually gonna come below here and go down to this one. Okay, so for this one, you can see the lowest branch is back here, but there's this nice cluster of branches here. So I'm going to cut right here, leaving all of those. All of these are already growing, so if I get an extra branch out of each of those, that'll be nice. All right, so now I'm just going to cut the rest of these, and we'll fast forward it from here. Oh, who wants some cuttings? Okay, so there we go. So looks okay. It's pretty blank on this back side, you can see. So I'll just put it so the back is towards the window for a while. Let that start to fill in. Yeah, I like that it's skinnier. There's one thing here. it doesn't totally make sense to have like the longest branch halfway up. So I'm very tempted to cut this here, but if I cut back to this one thing, it's gonna shoot out to the side. So I'm just gonna leave this for now because I don't know what I'll shape this as in the future. So it could be nice to have a big fat branch here, which eventually kind of becomes the main focal point when this enters the bonsai phase of its life. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you learned something. And if you want to just help me out real quick, you can hit the like button, leave a comment before you go, and consider subscribing, please, if you are not already. Yeah. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Check this out. It's been about 2 weeks since I cut it, and all the places I cut activated some buds right away. So a lot of these places already have like 5 or more growth tips happening really nice and tightly together. So this thing is going to be way more dense than it was before. So my plan worked perfectly. Yeah, I'm super excited to see how this is going to grow over the next couple of months. You'll see even not only is it getting a lot denser towards the ends of the branches where I cut, but a lot of nodes have been activated further down the branches. So it's going to fill out internally, and especially like this branch has so much going on down here. So yeah, just want to show you that, share some clips of it so you can see, and I'll let you know on the next video about, we'll see what happens with the fruit, because it did grow mostly just fruit for the last 2 years. So now it's doing a ton of leaves. I'm hoping it focuses on leaves for a good while here, but we'll see if it tries to like resume its fruiting as soon as possible, or if it just continues to veg out for a while. But yeah, so I pruned it in June. It's now 2 weeks later, and there's growth all over the place. So don't be afraid to prune your plants. Definitely, this is a fun step in the plant journey when you start actually styling your plants a little bit, and it's always very exciting when it works the way you're hoping it would. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for sticking around for this update, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time. Peace.